At Exeter University, Dr. Ian Summers is developing technology that simulates touch.
This is our tactile stimulator.
As incredible as it sounds, Ian claims he's designed a machine that lets you feel what you're seeing on a computer screen.
So would you like to have a go?
Yes, please. So let's put my finger on here.
That's right. You rest your finger on it and you move it around like a mouse. And what you see on the screen is a green rectangle that represents your fingertip. And also on the screen you see the surface of the textile. And
That is a piece of corduroy, and I'm actually feeling virtual corduroy on my finger.
that's the idea. And you've got a piece of corduroy there on the table, real corduroy, so you can
Very
compare
similar.
the two.
Very similar. That's really rough across the way, as you'd expect, and then up and down the way it's not nearly so rough, because that's with the grain of the corduroy. So Ian, how is this possible? What's actually happening here?
Well, what we're trying to do is replicate what happens in a real touch situation. So if you imagine, for example, my finger running over the surface of this piece of hessium, then what happens is the interaction with the surface deforms the skin and vibrations travel through the tissue underneath to the underlying touch receptors. So we're trying to reproduce that. So the job of our tactile stimulator is to deliver those kind of vibrations to the touch receptors in the finger.
The machine works by making pins on top of the computer mouse vibrate to trick the touch receptors in my fingertip. By changing the strength of the vibration, Ian can replicate the feel of different materials. As a general rule, rougher materials generate strong vibrations, whereas smoother materials generate weak vibrations.
So would you like to try another surface now?
Yes, please. Let's
Right,
try
we've got something a bit smoother, some kind of silk,
soft.
I think. So
Okay, so there's
we'll
silk.
try switching to that one.
So that's a nice silk texture, very smooth. Let's see how that feels. Yes, it's good. It's not as great as the corduroy, but it's good.
Yeah, I think that with smooth surfaces, you're very aware of just the feel of the stimulator. Whereas for rougher surfaces, maybe you're more aware of what's coming out of the stimulator.
Ian has so far simulated over 70 types of material. In studies, volunteers guess what around 60% of the virtual versions are supposed to be. What were the challenges you faced in making virtual touch work?
I think the sticking point at the moment is not really the technology in terms of the stimulator and moving over the surface and whatever. It's we don't know enough about the nature of the real interaction between a real finger and a real surface. And so we don't really have enough information to know what are the right signals to put through our virtual system.
Because we understand so little about touch, Ian is still some way off having a reliable system. But if he's successful, it does have many potential uses. From online shopping and gaming, to helping surgeons perform operations remotely.